Hi and welcome back to the Director's Commentaries, episode number 2 of Callback. This episode is called The Rehearsal. Now, even though at the beginning I'm setting up a scene to start rehearsing, well, my character does, it's not about that rehearsal that that episode is about. It's about my partner's rehearsal, which she's about to come in about a minute from now. Now, we came up with the idea that I was rehearsing a scene from Heat at the beginning, which is a scene that I know by heart because I've done it in the past, maybe 10 years ago, in a workshop. So it was still baked in my mind. So I didn't even have to learn those lines. I knew it by heart. The thing is, though, I'm not a comedian. I don't think I'm necessarily funny, and I'm not good at imitating people. But I tried it, and my co-star, which was behind the camera at that time, she thought I was very good and very funny. So it was all I needed, I guess, to be convinced and to try to give it my best. I don't know what the result is. I'll let you judge of that. Now here she's coming in like a tornado, and she realizes that something is wrong with me. And we go out with a freeze frame and a Ken Burn, which is totally inspired by the 400 Blows of François Truffaut. You will notice that I'm referring to the New Wave era oftentimes in this series, because I'm a big fan of Truffaut, and especially Godard, his first 4 to 5 movies. So sometimes people think that I'm ripping off Tarantino, but most of the time it's simply that because we have the same influences, we like the same things. So Tarantino even named his production company Bande à part, which is the title of Jean-Luc Godard's movie. So that's the truth about it. So of course sometimes I'm going to take, because I also like a lot Tarantino's first 2 films and a few other ones among them, but especially the first 2. And of course I did a trunk shot in a movie which is totally Tarantinesque. I love that too. But basically it's more about older film directors that we're both influenced. I don't want to compare myself to him, but that's just what it is. I'm also going to refer Orson Welles later on in that episode. Now, just to tell you that that episode took, that segment in the living room took an entire day of shooting. The reason is because it's all coverage, and it takes a lot of time to do. Every time you change the framing, you have to adjust the lighting and stuff, and it's a very long process. But I think I got it right. I also remember that I came up with a few additional lines that very morning, and since my partner is a very, very talented actress, she picked it up right away, and a lot of actresses wouldn't have been able to do that, but she did it brilliantly. And I thought those lines were funny, and I added them to the script. Now here we're coming to the end of this segment here, and notice that the mirror will disappear when we will be from afar. That is simply because we're going to be right here, day number 2, here. So I forgot to put it back the very next day. Now here we're also entering into what we call a oneer, or a sequence shot. What is it? It's a one shot without any cuts and no editing. So basically that's what it is. And most of the times actors, actresses, we love those type of shots because it gives us the opportunity to perform, to show what we can do. We have more juice. We can get into a momentum, which is very hard to get into when we keep on, cutting and starting over again and stuff like that. So sometimes a oneer is the best thing to do to get the actors to a certain place, a certain intensity. It's also a challenge for the camera guy. So check my friend here. He's backing off going around the table by the left and going on the other side of the table and leaning down at the level of the actress, of Sylvie. So that's also a very tough thing to do. I would say that we did about 5 to 7 takes just to rehearse the camera movements and for us to rehearse the blocking and to be comfortable with our lines and everything. So there's a lot of preparation involved when we do a sequence shot like that. But it's very rewarding in many ways. Rewarding for us actors, but also rewarding in time. Sometimes it feels like we're wasting a lot of time. I remember that day at noon we stopped for lunch and my crew were very anxious and nervous about the fact that for them it looked like we were not moving forward. And I told them, trust me, we only need one shot, and when we will have it, our day will be over. I'm going to come back on that later on. I told you before that there's barely no improvisation in this series. Well, here, that's a segment of improvisation that I'm doing. I'm searching for Tom Hanks's voice. And the only voices that I can handle are the voices of De Niro and Pacino and Brando and stuff, you know. I'm talking about a character here. And so those are the lines that came up to my mind while I was improvising. And from take to take, it was different. So this is not necessarily my best shot, but that's one of the shots where we didn't start laughing. The best shots when I was getting into a trance, my partner or I, we couldn't avoid laughing because it was very, very funny. So only for that too, I think we may have made 8 to 10 takes before we stopped laughing in that segment here. So like I said, it's all about rehearsal and it takes a lot of time, but when we get it, we get it. And when I told my crew, trust me, it doesn't look like it, but we're moving forward. I had in mind the movie Touch of Evil from Orson Welles. I think it's a 1958 movie. And if you've never seen the opening scene of Touch of Evil, go on YouTube and check it out. It's a masterpiece. And during the production of that movie, I think he must have started by that scene. And the production was very, very nervous because they thought he was going to blow the budget and go over schedule because for them it seems like he was not moving forward. But he told them, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And by the end of the day, when he got it right, the production realized that he was not running late, but he saved something like, I think it was 3 or 4 days of shooting just by making a oneer like that. So it's very rewarding in time and for many other things, like I said. Like here, there will be a glitch in the image. I told you that my partner went on his knee behind the table. Now, when he's going to stand up, of course, he's been down for about 4 minutes, so it's very hard on the legs. He was probably shaking. So here, so there was a bump here in the camera. So instead of starting all over again, I came with the idea, okay, let's keep it that way. It's our best shot. I'm just going to make an effect here and hide it. And that's exactly what I did. Remember, we're still on the same shot here, but we're getting to the end of it. So that shot ended about the same way that it started. I'm going back to the table on the other side. And here we're going to go out with the kind of a zoom in effect. And that's an effect I had to do because I don't have that plugin in my old Final Cut Pro 7 program. So I had to build it myself. And there's a few hours involved in the making of that. Here she thinks that there's a woman in my bed. And that shot here between my legs was very tough to get. I think we must have done it 10 to 15 times to get it right. And it was also a big test of humility for me to dress in a woman. It's something I've never done before, and I was anxious to do that one. It was to try to get a laugh. So we're at the end of episode number 2, and you're going to see there's a bunch of names that will appear very shortly. Those are all people that made contribution to the series. We went into social funding for this web series, so you will notice that from episode to episode there's more and more names there, and I'm very grateful for their contribution. They helped make this project possible. Now take a look at Sylvie here, my partner. She's hilarious, and that was one of my best shots. I don't want to blame her. That's not what I'm doing here. But I was in a trance here. I couldn't think about her because I would have laughed. But I was in my own zone, and I came up with a few of the good lines of Pacino and stuff. And but when I looked at her, I noticed that she was laughing. So it was a cut. Let's do it again. And here again, I don't know she's laughing. I'm not looking at her because if I do, I'm dead. I will start laughing. Here I just noticed something was wrong and I'm done. So that's what it is. So I hope you enjoyed it. That was episode number 2. And see you in a week for episode number 3.
C'est quoi, c'est nouvellement schizophrène?